O'Reilly. Hi, welcome back to my channel. If you've never been here before, well, you are here now. I'm Fat Sajak, and the straps you feel tying you down to watch this crappy content will be released at the end of the video. So make sure you hit that subscribe button, or nothing's gonna happen, but it would be nice of you. It's the holidays, for Christ's sake. I am here with a full face of really cakey makeup on some really old crepe paper skin to present to you a video based on internet drama that really doesn't affect any of our lives day to day, but is still something we like to talk about in a sort of catty and cunty fashion. Today we're talking about Colleen Ballinger for the millionth time, because surprise, surprise, she's still around. So let's get into it. Before we do, make sure you are still subscribed to my channel if you want to be here. Don't let the bastards hold you down. By bastards, I mean the people who pay me money. And then you go back there and you tell old rich Mr. Chocolate Man that he ain't holding me down. Anyway, what was I talking about? Colleen Ballinger. The videos towards the end of the year, I swear, they're just as unraveled as the videos from the rest of the year. So I saw a video from Colleen the other day titled something like, "Crying on Christmas Eve, are we even surprised?" Eye roll emoji. If I got that right verbatim, that's pretty good, because that's a really long, stupid title. Also, if you can hear like creaking sounds back here, we're getting like hurricane-esque winds today. My door is closed, everything's closed up and sealed, so it's just making a really obnoxious squeaking noise. So if you hate it, you're gonna have to deal with it, because I can't be bothered to edit it out. It's part of the charm. Maybe we'll add some music to the background. Maybe my goal for 2025 should be to improve my content. Anyway, so I came across this video because I stay subscribed to Colleen Vlogs in case she tries to pull a fast one on us. But after skimming through the vlog, skipping over the parts that will embarrass her children at some point in her life, the parts where she whines about how she has to postpone her childhood cancer fundraiser for reasons that are vague, when she's done talking about rocks, she answers a question, and yet again she's bringing up missing doing meet and greets. Now I want to say that, like, on the surface, the things that I'm about to talk about today regarding Colleen Ballinger are not really concerning if you know nothing about Colleen Ballinger. Colleen was canceled a year and a half ago now for having been wildly inappropriate with her young fans. And when I say wildly inappropriate, I mean things like talking explicitly about her relationship problems with literal children, talking about things that were sexual in nature with literal children, talking about periods with literal children, having these really, really sort of wildly inappropriate, like intimate type conversations with children. She has participated in activities that could be qualified as grooming. You know, I imagine if you're here, you know the whole rundown of the Colleen Ballinger thing. If not, I will link. There's like a 50% chance I'll remember to link the videos I've made on Colleen before. They're a little more in-depth. Colleen was very much exposed for her inappropriate behavior with minors, and even though she essentially flat out blamed the parents of the children who watched her content, which her content was geared toward always, and her audience consisted of always, her meet and greets would be full of children, which inherently is not a bad thing. If you make content that's geared toward an immature audience, and I mean that in two ways. If your audience is literally immature because they are children, or if your audience is immature because they have a really god-awful sense of humor, then that's what you should expect at your meet and greets, right? And there's nothing inherently wrong with that, because if that's what your platform is, that's what it is. But that also requires you to have a pretty steady set of boundaries between you and your audience, right? She didn't have any of those. And now she's spending all this time waxing poetic and crying. Here I was thinking this video was going to be about her crying, like, oh my god, my children are growing up, because her twins are like, I don't know, 3 or some shit, and her oldest is like 6 or something. And like, you know, for me, like, sometimes the holidays are emotional because what your kids want for Christmas changes, and they get more specific, and they get, you know, their interests get older, and, you know, they go from wanting like Hot Wheels to wanting like a shotgun or whatever, you know, whatever it is that kids want, I don't know. And it wasn't. She literally sat there and cried because she misses meet and greets. She misses people being able to tell her how great she is.
It made me smile so big to see your comment. Like, anytime I see comments or get letters from people that, like, I have these little memories with, these like special little core memories of wonderful moments in those meet and greets. Oh, why am I crying you? Sorry. Oh, I just miss it so much. I miss those meet and greets so much. It's so lovely to put faces to the comments, you know, because text on a screen is text on a screen, but seeing someone's face and seeing a real human being say that, like, they appreciate what I do or can make them laugh, or, yeah, I don't know. I just can't explain the happiness I have felt in those meet and greets. Some of my fondest memories in my whole life are at those meet and greets.
And that's literally what she's saying in this clip, because she's talking about how she, you know, it's one thing to read these nice comments from behind a screen, but when you get to talk to somebody face to face, that's a whole other level, which I'm sure it is. But are you hearing the thing you just said? Like, you're missing people telling you how wonderful you are because it means less from behind a screen. Also, all of these people are, for the most part, children, young adults, or girl. I know she's garnered like a following of like moms, I guess, probably. I don't know, whatever. Math is stupid. So she posted this video, and I watched this fuck ass video, and I was like, whatever. Like, she's just gonna keep doing this shit. Like, she's just gonna keep doing it because that's who she is. I don't even think she hears herself or realizes what she's saying. She's sitting here crying to her remaining, you know, I don't know, how many views is she averaging? 30,000, 40,000 per video now? So her remaining 30 to 40,000 devoted fans about how she misses talking to teenagers and children. Like, and she was just doing this when she was talking about going to her husband's high school where her husband was receiving an accolade, and she made it all about how she's sad she doesn't get to talk to these high school students anymore. Like, ma'am,
are you completely unaware of what you are blasted into another dimension for?
I cannot. You know what? I was gonna let it go because obviously she's just gonna keep doing this. She treats her vlog like her diary, which is whatever. You know, personally, if I had been exposed for having really inappropriate relationships with my very young fans, the last thing I'd be doing is continuing the diary I created on the World Wide Web. But to each their own. And then I was just on my like general timeline, and I saw that Radiant Brit posted a video about Colleen and that she had been being creepy again. And I was like, oh, I wonder if she saw the same video I did. But actually, this was about something else entirely, and if you haven't heard about it, I want to share it with you. Given the context of who Colleen is, this is the only reason that I think this is honestly interesting. So she and Rachel, her sister, started a podcast together, which they do behind a paywall. And I agree with Britt when she said that she has a problem with creators who get canceled for something egregious that happens with their audience specifically, and then start producing content behind a paywall. I think that's really, really shady and suspicious. If she had started a Patreon any other time, like this podcast is solely on Patreon. You have to pay to hear it. First of all, I wouldn't pay to hear these two boring people laugh about inside jokes for like an hour every week or whatever. Like, that doesn't sound like something I want to pay for. I would rather pay for a prostate exam. Obviously not mine. I'd pay for somebody else's. It's the holidays, for fuck's sake. I too have a big problem with that, especially because there were these private group chats where all of these sort of transgressions with minors transpired. So you're telling me that now you want to put like unfiltered, because basically that's what it would be, right? Is like those two talking would be an unfiltered conversation. You want to put these unfiltered conversations behind a paywall after being busted for having inappropriate unfiltered conversations in DMs with minors. Girl, pattern recognition. Anyway, so there was that. And then evidently she posted a reel, which I have to edit the music out, unfortunately, because of Wham. If this was literally, maybe not literally, if this was largely any other creator, I wouldn't think twice about this. I wouldn't think it was funny, but I wouldn't really think twice about it. As you can see in this reel, Rachel is wearing pants as pants, and Colleen is wearing a shirt as pants, right? Which, like, if there was an actual premise outside of, like, making awkward faces and doing an awkward dance, if there was an actual premise to the comedy of, if there was actual comedy present, this could have been something to giggle at. But because of the nature of her cancellation, wherein like she was having children reach down her pants to get snacks in live shows and things of that nature, the hole directly in the crotch, have we really learned nothing? Have you learned nothing? And another thing that Britt had said that I actually also agree with is that she is unteachable. She either does not know what she has done wrong, or she does not fucking care. And it's gotta be some kind of combination of the two, in my opinion. To continue to post stuff like this after knowing you faced the darkest time in your life, as she calls it, and an intense amount of scrutiny for being so inappropriate physically through text and through physical things, spreading a teenager's legs on a stage for a bit. And you're really going to continue with the least funny, lowest hanging fruit ass working blue kind of shit. Why didn't you just have a dildo hanging out of it?
Why don't you smoke a blunt while you're at it, lady?
I'm not saying that stupid can't be funny. Stupid is the funniest kind of funny. Crass is funny. You can do all of these things, but it has to actually be funny. And maybe we could lay off turning everything into something uncomfortably sexual, I suppose. And the thing is like, that's, the comments are like Miranda vibes. I like the neck hole on Colleen's bottom half, which looks like it's singing along. Is that a shirt that you put as pants so you guys are matching? Shirt for pants, you are awesome. I love you guys. Please seek out real comedy, okay? Please do yourselves a favor and like aim a little higher. Colleen Ballinger is the peak of comedy for you. And then I am going to open up a comedy workshop tier on my Patreon ASAP. Because what is this? Oh my god. I don't know. I guess that's really all I had to say. Let me know what your guys' thoughts in the comments. And, whatever. Bye. It's a thing. I dare you to look it up. Whatever, you get it. Oh my god, that's so hilarious.